how often do you change your oil?
Oh, as often as the dealership tells us to.
How often and when do people change their oil?
About every 6 months or 5,000 kilometers.
We're talking to people about maintenance of the vehicle and how often you do oil changes.
Well, I work at a dealership, so I should know. It depends on what type of vehicle, but they recommend now 6 months or 8,000 kilometers you should do an oil change.
Yeah, we're going to get lots of different answers. This is the car lady, Christine Mitchell. The reason, the whole way we got together was we were talking about cars last week on BT, and you tweeted me.
I tweeted you because you had that segment on about the gentleman who used that customer's car to go through a drive-thru, and I wanted to assure you that that's not a dealership policy.
All right, so how often should you change your oil?
Well, that's a fantastic question. Oil should be changed, according to most vehicles, what's called a maintenance minder or an oil life monitor. So you actually change the oil when the car tells you to today.
And there's going to be, like the one gentleman said there at the end, different vehicles, different driving conditions too.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're commuting, it's different than if you're in the city constantly.
Absolutely. And most vehicles today run on 0W20, which is a full synthetic. So we've extended those maintenance intervals the way we didn't in the past. When I was a young technician, it was every 3 months or 5,000 K. And now with the synthetics, we've extended that.
Now, we're going to get under the hood in a second, but things have changed. I used to change my oil. I used to do my own tune-ups. I used to change the wires. I used to change everything.
Yes.
But now it's harder sometimes. Sometimes you have to flip the engine to get to the oil, to get to the spark plugs. If you have spark plugs, you know.
Absolutely.
So right now there are things we should still know about our vehicle. And I'm going to suggest to you the first thing we need to know is if you've never opened the hood of your vehicle, I don't care who you are, if you're driving a vehicle, you should know how to open the hood.
Well, that's a great homework assignment, isn't it?
Yeah, where's the lever inside?
Yeah, the release is typically down by your knee on the left-hand side. There'll be a little picture. Most cars it is.
And then you have this, and you're like...
Yeah, you've got the emergency catch there, so you'll have to just reach your hand underneath the logo.
Where it is.
Yeah, it's typically right underneath the logo of the front of your vehicle. And this particular vehicle, it doesn't have the automatic arms. I've actually got a prop rod here. So I'll insert the prop rod into the hood, and the hood will stay up on its own.
It seems simple, and it seems silly.
Right.
But you know what? I know there's other people out there who've never opened the hood of their car. Okay, what do we need to know? What should we be aware of so that if we're stranded somewhere, we're able to help ourselves as best we can?
Yeah, that's a great question. I usually recommend to people that unless you have a bottle of water, some duct tape, and a little general know-how, that you leave the hood down.
Yeah.
When my goddaughter got her license, I said to her, don't stand outside of the car because you're advertising that you're alone and you're stranded. You're better to get on the phone and call your roadside assistance. As a technician, I don't ever work on my own car anymore. I take it to the dealership.
We talked about the oil, changing your oil. How important is that?
Very important. Engine oil cools, cleans, and protects an engine long term. So you want to make sure you're doing your regular intervals. Most vehicles now have a maintenance minder, an oil life monitor, so it actually tells you when it's time to bring it in, but you should always refer to your owner's manual. Most people don't lift the hood. Most people never read the owner's manual.
What are some of the things that we should know about what's under this hood right now? Because engines now look so much different than they did even 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, remember when I was a kid, you used to have a big round thing with a wing nut. You took that off. You started it with a screwdriver.
You put a screwdriver in there, and then sometimes you'd actually pour gasoline into it.
Did that as well.
Yeah, don't do that unless you know what you are doing.
A couple things quickly. First of all, washer fluid, making sure you're buying a quality product. There's a difference between cheap washer fluid and the good stuff. It's not just the way that it cleans the glass, but the way that it reacts with the paint on the roof of the car. Cheap washer fluid can damage the paint long term.
Really? I did not know that. Okay, that's really
buying a quality product. Again, engine oil dipstick. Some of the luxury brands don't even come with an oil dipstick. So if you can't find one, perhaps you're driving a particular type of car.
Get a cheaper car.
Or definitely check your own oil and make sure that you've got a dipstick. You want to check your oil when the vehicle's cold. First thing in the morning is best. Oil is stored in the pan. When the engine gets hot, it goes to the top. You want to check that first thing in the morning.
There's so much you should know, so much you need to know. Thecarlady.com?
Thecarlady.ca.
Thecarlady.ca. How Canadian of you. Thecarlady.ca. And if you want to ask some questions on Twitter?
You can ask me questions on Twitter at TheCarLadyCanada.
At TheCarLadyCanada, because there's so much to know. Open the hood. If you've never opened the hood, at least start there. All right, thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a break on Breakfast Television. We'll be right back.